Shri Amit Shah Minister to move that the bill be passed.
सभापति महोदय, मैं इस बिल को
Shri Amit Shah Minister to move that the bill be passed.
सभापति महोदय, मैं इस बिल को पारित करने का प्रस्ताव करता हूं।
Motion moved that the bill be passed. The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor please say aye. Those against it please say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
Hello everyone, welcome to NISHTAIAS. Now, August 5th marks the 7 years when the Article 370 as well as Article 35A was abrogated. Now, due to this anniversary, a lot of article comes in which it has been said that what has been the progress achieved until now and what are the issues still lingering. So as such, this one article which is being written by Amitabh Mattu talks regarding Article 370 abrogation and what were the promises made. So he says that there were three principal rationales. So he says that there were three principal rationales at the time in 2019 when this abrogation and downgrading of Jammu Kashmir was being done, because it was a state before and now it is a union territory. So this is called as a downgrade. So the first rationale is that Article 370 has taken on a psychological resonance into the people's mind on the ground rather than just being a legal purport. So it is feeding into the idea that the integration which happened of Jammu Kashmir was just a conditional integration and it was nurturing separatism. So on this score, Amitabh Mattu says that the record is significant because the whole separatist lexicon, or we say the whole grammar of separatism, has faded away. Hurriyat as such, which was a main icon of separatism, now just remains on paper. And there are just a little bit of vestiges at which the Mirwais and etc. keep on giving the lectures from the pulpit of the Jama Masjid. Second, the political parties which had forecasted that it would lead to a constitutional apocalypse or constitutional crisis have also resumed electoral politics, which was seen in 2024 when majority all the parties participated into the election. Okay. Third is that the ecosystem of hartals, shutdowns and street violence, which was a routine affair into the valley, have significantly abated if has not ended. However, before ending this first rationale, Amitabh Mattu focuses that the integration cannot be just judged by the quiet streets or the tourist arrivals or the cultural festivals, or not also by the national song and national anthem being sung in a ritualistic precision. We have to basically see that does the citizen feel a part of the republic? Does he feel equal, responsive? Okay, this has to be tested. The second rationale was given that it would strengthen the nationalistic political forces. Okay, and it would help to aggressively tackle the cross-border terrorism and homegrown militancy. Now, in this, obviously, the terrorist networks have been disrupted. Okay, and much of it which was fueled from across the border have been dealt with ruthlessness. However, this also needs to be pointed out that the targeted killings are still continuing into the valley, especially of the migrants. Okay, and the targeted killing of migrants, especially and also of the tourists in Pahalgam, is a case to be remembered. Also, what it has showed is that the Indian electoral democracy functions in Jammu and Kashmir, and its sovereignty there is not contingent upon on winning only elections. That it doesn't matter if the party which is ruling the center at Delhi, if it doesn't win the election, then also it doesn't matter, because our democracy is strongly rooted in Jammu and Kashmir, which he says is a total contrast of what is having or what is happening into Jammu and Kashmir part of Pakistan, that is Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. We are seeing there has been mass uprising and ruthless repression carried out by Pakistani government across the LOC. The third rationale was that the direct central rule will lead to cleansing of the networks of patronage and corruption, improve governance and deliver development directly on the ground from the New Delhi without local interference. Because one of the reasons which Amit Shah, which is Home Minister, as well as Prime Minister Modi, had mentioned that there is a huge corruption and due to which the fruits of development are not reaching to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Amitabh Mattu, a resident of Srinagar, says that here is where the promise of 2019 remains most unfulfilled. However, he says that temporarily the accountability might have increased. However, it has made the case worse now. Now, currently, a lot of power is with the Lieutenant Governor, and this Lieutenant Governor is not accountable by the polls, while the Chief Minister doesn't have authority to govern the full state. This has led to an example which has been put in Srinagar, that one period of time it was the most livable city in India. However, today the traffic is a nightmare, it has an unregulated construction, and the air hardly can be breathed. Okay, and the biggest concern now which remains in all of this is the youth. Historically also, Jammu and Kashmir has the highest unemployment rate as compared to the rest of the India. Now this, if it is not taken care, it can be a potentially a political and a social time bomb due to its past of insurgency and terrorist movement. That's why Abiy Ahmed says that employment in the state needs to be actually treated as a national security issue. You people might have seen recently that the Cockroach Janata Party protest in Delhi, which was being carried out, and that also one of the major reason is unemployment. Okay, and this is a ticking time bomb for India as well as for Jammu and Kashmir. For India, in a sense, because what will a lot of unemployed people will do? Obviously, it can lead to a lot of anarchy. But in Jammu Kashmir, in a contextual situation, it can lead to more and more rise in radicalism. Okay. Last part, he says that the normalcy cannot be said to return until the Kashmiri Pandits are also rehabilitated. Okay. Now, in the same way, we can see that the Hindu had did an analysis of what has the progress been done until now. Okay. So here, basically, the Hindu focuses with the help of data. So the first data which it poses upon is that the capital outlay for Jammu and Kashmir, okay, has not significantly increased. Okay, this you can see in the chart too, that the capital outlay has still not increased to the level which was existing before it. Okay, next chart puts here that the unemployment rate, which we can see in this chart, has largely remained static, but recently the urban female unemployment rate is increasing. Next, the enrollment ratios, which we can see here, has in the last part, that is in 23-24 year, have dipped by 11%. Again, a social indicator which we should be worried about. The last chart basically shows that the decline in the terrorist incidences and civilian fatalities. Okay, so obviously from its peak, that is in 2018, it has drastically reduced. Okay, however, we have still not been able to achieve the levels of 2012 to 2014. Okay, so this is the analysis in which through the data the Hindu newspaper have analyzed that what progress has been done over the period. Okay, last but not the least, into the same thing, the chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, directly took out a march in Delhi to demand a statehood. Okay, he says that it was a promised part when in 2019 this Article 370 and Article 35A was abrogated, and now it should be given back as a statehood to the whole of the people. Otherwise, the alienation will increase. So basically, we can wrap it up by saying that three rationales were given for abrogating Article 370 and Article 35A. First was that it was leading to separatist tendencies. Second, that it would lead to better management of terrorism, especially cross-border terrorism, and which can be ruthlessly curbed down. Okay. Third rationale was given that the fruits of development can more easily reach to the people if the center takes the control over it. Now, in the analysis, we can see that what progress has been done. So first, obviously, the terrorist activities has reduced. The feeling of separatism and the grammar of separatism has reduced. Third, there has been a hint of developmental activities which are been taking place. Fourth, the cross-border terrorism has been ruthlessly curbed down. However, some issues are still remaining. First, a lot of unemployment will lead to alienation as well as radicalism. Second, the whole feeling where the statehood has still not been given is being seen as a broken promise, which will lead to more alienation. Third, on the ground, the governance is becoming more and more worse, as seen by the example in Jammu and Kashmir, especially Srinagar. Okay. Last but not the least, still single terrorist attacks are taking place like Pahalgam. Still the migrants are being targeted in the recently killing of a migrant in Jammu and Kashmir. All these issues needs to be dealt still in a positive way by both the state and the center. Last but not the least, the statehood should be given back to Jammu and Kashmir so that an accountable and a responsible government can be in a place of lieutenant governor.